Welcome in, beautiful souls. I don't know who you are, but this reading has been, wow, I don't even know. I asked Spirit, are you trying to prove something to somebody? And they said, no, they're trying to validate. So I don't know who this is for or what this is about, but the pressure is on me. And I'm going to tell you, too, that no matter how much I tried to cleanse my space, clear the room, get this reading going, trying to bring this message forward, I've had nothing but blocks, interference, interruptions. So this is a message that, look, and even my thing went out. Um, I don't know who you are, but this is a very important message for someone or a bunch of someones. I don't know, because here's the thing. They wanted me to talk about. I don't know what I did with that paperwork now. Okay, they wanted me to talk about the difference between awakening and awakened empaths. Now, awakening is like a process, and that is happening for people that have empathy and compassion for other people, and those are the type of people that are emotionally aware, and they're able to have compassion, put themselves in someone else's shoes to understand how another person feels, right? Okay. And so again, that's a process. The awakenings are become a process for those people, and there's no right or wrong way. There's never a right or wrong way. Okay, we all are here for a reason. So if you're finding this video, this is not by accident. This is a message directly for you, coming straight from the divine. And now, Dolores Cannon, she called these so the difference. So the other ones are the awakened empaths. So these are the people that were born here. They were born with all these abilities, the psychic abilities. They were already turned on. These abilities were already turned on the day they were born here. Now, again, there is a difference. So if you're going through a bunch of different awakenings, that doesn't mean that you don't have special abilities, because there's different types of empaths. But we're gonna, I just want to, clarify. So we're just going to talk about mainly the awakened empaths and the ones that are awakening. Okay, so there's all a bunch of different ones. So we're just going to focus on those two for today. Now, the awakened empaths, what happens with them is, like I said, they're born here. They're born with being awake, right? And they have a special frequency that is needed here on the earth. She called them volunteers, because they have and they are usually women. They're not all women, but they're mostly are women, and they have reincarnated specifically for this new earth, because of their energetic frequency was needed here. Now, the type of frequency that we're going to talk about today for these individuals is that they came because they have knowledge stored in their bodies and in their nervous system, and it's an electrical magnetic field, basically, that's surrounding the heart. Okay, so this can be traced back to ancient Egypt and early Christianity. You might really resonate with ancient Egypt and the Inca and the Mayans and that type of like old ancient type civilizations. You might even resonate with like the Lemurians, Atlanteans, like that kind of energy. Also, so basically what they're like, this is all being studied by science. So just so that you know, this isn't like some kind of hooey, magic BS. You know what I mean? This is something that is being studied in, how do they, I think it's in like neuroscience or, oh, I have it written down here somewhere. Anyway, these specific empaths that I'm talking about, they, what they do is they absorb emotional, energetic, and physical states of others. And what happens is they all become part of the empath's internal experiences. So the neuroscience, yeah, it is the neuroscience, yeah. So the neuroscience, the research that they're doing in it, they actually call it mirror neurons. Okay, so they specialize. They're like specialized cells in the brain that fire off when an empath observes what's happening in someone else, and it's like an amplified level. So so they're able to measure it in the brain. Okay. So these people are functioning like living antennas, basically, and they're receiving frequencies that most people don't even know exist. Now, they, it can also be disguised as anxiety or like social discomfort. A lot of people call them like introverts. Now, this is like a clear cognizance. It's like an inner knowing that they have that they don't realize that they do. Now, if you're finding this video or this video has found you, this is not a coincidence, by no means. There is no such things as coincidence. Now, so you have the ability to receive information without any logical source to it. And because of that, what happens is you're able to process other people's I don't know how to put it. I guess their emotions, like you're able to process whatever is happening. And, see, and that's why you can be overflooded when you're in public places, because you're picking up, your antennas picking up so much interference, and then you can't distinguish what's yours and what's theirs. And you have to like retreat and like go hide in your house for a couple days to recuperate. You might find like you're super exhausted after like shopping or some kind of like a public outing or something. Now, I think that's all we're going to talk about with that, because there's so much more to it, but I think I'm just going to leave it there because it is a lot to go over, and maybe I'll do more readings because Spirit really, they want me to continue with a lot of information. Now, every time I pulled out a deck, I was shuffling this round deck here, and this card popped out, freedom. And then I said, okay, you want me to stop? So I put the deck, I flipped it over, and this was on the bottom. But then they had me pull out other decks, and every deck that I pulled out had like, this card had freedom on it. This is like elevate. This talks about being a hero, about, a lot of disappointment and heartache. And that's the other thing too, our awakened empaths, they would have had a very hard, tough life. They would have had a terrible upbringing. They would have had a lot of tragedy that has gone on. And it was all just to keep them from being able to elevate into a higher status to help alter the earth's energies, you know what I mean, and bring us into a higher, that's why there's so much going on in the world today. There's so much upset and more and all that. They're doing that to try to keep the vibration low. But for the empaths that are awakening, and then you have your already awakened empaths, like this is like a real struggle for everyone, right? For people like us, this is really a tough situation. So, and then they wanted me to bring up my Dragon Tarot deck here. And then when I turned it over, which I didn't even read it before. And what does it say? Look, take divine flight through tarot. Divine flight. And then you get the birds. You have freedom here that, they fly. They want you to elevate. There's like a change for your higher self happening here. Look at this. And then right underneath, it's like connection. So you get the support of all the angels. No joke. Okay. You're overthinking something, because I was saying like, is this to prove something to somebody? And they're like, no, validate. This is validation. So whoever you are, your guides want to validate something to you. They were asking me to keep the book out for that too, because there's a little bit different meanings in some of these tarot cards. I don't know what those are, but we're going to find out. What's on the bottom, it says? Seven of Swords. Yeah, that's all that deceit going on around you. Yeah. Yeah. You know, the Two of Pentacles right underneath that, it tells me that, oh, I tore up my hand here. That tells me that you might have done a lot of moving through your life too. Okay, so we're just going to set this aside here, and we're going to pull out some tarot cards in a little bit. The Knight of Wands. Okay. You know, when they talk about that mirroring of energy, those scientists, it's because you're somebody that you probably trigger a lot of people because you they're just, oh my God, look underneath is Astral. You know what? Oh my God, in alchemy, yeah, because I was just about to say, Spirit, you're going faster than I can process the information, because they were saying how with that mirroring of information that you trigger people, because what it's doing is you're alchemizing their energy, and you're connecting in the astrals when you're doing that. So the astrals, you could be doing a lot of dreaming. I don't want to touch any more of the cards because I want to be able to pull some out here, because a starseed elemental. Yeah, I was just thinking how you might be really connected to the earth here. Okay. You're very grounded. I'm just going to turn all these decks over here, and they want me to pull one of these here for later in the reading to read at the end. And it's like they're really excited. Oh, you want me to take this one? Okay, number 47. Okay, I don't know what this is here. These are all the higher, you know, see this green here? This kind of gives me this heart chakra with all this light coming off of it, with your throat chakra, your and then, you know, it leads into the purples. This is all about your you know, you're like your third eye, and your the higher consciousness, your crown type of energy here. Okay, so I don't know what this card is. We'll read that later. Okay. They want me to, so that you can see it. All right, let me see, make sure that you can see it. Okay. You know, when they want me to show something that you can see, it makes me think, oh, my cat's here. My cat only shows up when I'm doing ancient beings type energy. So hold on a sec. I gotta let him in. Come on, buddy. Come on. Ooh, almost got your tail in the door. All right. That's a boy. Lay down. Boy. Okay, he's come here for protection. He only comes to ward off things that are not so good. So you could have a lot of, yeah, that's something too. Oh, sorry, I kicked the microphone. That's something that they brought up too. Oh, sorry, I got a squeaky chair. Okay, so they brought up about, you could be having a lot of psychic attacks. You probably had a lot of psychic attacks through your life. And you probably have a lot of people that turn on you. And it's because these people, the darker energies use these people around you to upset you and bring down your vibration. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it like this here, because freedom out here twice. You know, they're talking so much about this elevate and the astral. The astral also is about the darkness, about the dream state. So you could also be like a dream walker or something like that. Okay, Spirit, what else do you want me to put here? Okay, let's see here, starseed. Yeah, okay. Oh, I got full body chills like you don't even know. My spine is tingling, my head is tingling, everything's popping off. Okay, Spirit. Okay, hold on, I gotta reground because I'm having a hard time breathing here. They want me to tell you a story. Okay, so we're gonna just do a little story time here. Oh my God, look, harmonic flight again, Spirit. Okay, and look, they're mirroring each other. Oh my god. Okay, I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so they wanted me to talk about things that they gave me specific stories of like my own life. So I'm going to just talk about that. So when like I knew that I was different my whole childhood, and I used to do like all these little experiments. And one experiment, in fact, well, I sometimes I just stumbled upon them. Like I knew that I could speak to deceased people, and it was but I just didn't know anything more than that. I could see angels and things like that when I was really like little, like when I was like 2 and 3 years old. I used to interact with them all the time. And also I was like mute as a child. I didn't speak. And when I was like 3 or 4 years old, my one of my guides came, like my guide, I could always feel my guide beside me, like always. And they would say to me like, you need to speak. And I'm like, but you need to talk. And I'm like, I am talking. And they're like, no, you have to use your voice. So I'm like, okay. So I started to use my voice every once in a while, right? And the reason why they told me is because I was freaking people out, and that I was scaring people. So I didn't really know what that meant, because I mean, I was only like 3 years old. I didn't understand like how could, this little teeny body scare anybody. But I think it's because I have this look in my eye or something, and it freaks people out. I even know that my mother, if I would stare into her eye, like she was like eye level with me, and I would like look deep into her eyes, she used to get like unnerved. Like I knew that I could feel that she was unnerved by me. Of course, I was little. I didn't understand any of this, right? So fast forward, I was, I don't know, grade 4, I think. And our school, our teachers took us on a haunted house tour. And it's a real haunted house. And it's here in Nova Scotia where I live. I don't remember the name of it or anything. I was too little. I don't know. I think people around me have told me, but I just can't remember it like offhand now. Anyway, and we had gone through the tour, and I was just like, I was really disappointed. I'm like, there's no ghosts in here. Like, what are people talking about? I was kind of like, I was really disappointed. You know what I mean? Because that was my comfort zone. Like, that was my element, right? Anyway, so we're now being loaded onto the bus, and our teachers are talking to the tour guide still at that house. And we are like off the property, loaded onto the bus, because it's like a very rural type area. And we were, I was like halfway in the bus, and I was staring at the house. I wasn't even sitting. I was just standing in the window, and I was looking out, and I had a clear vision of the entire house and the porch. And I could see the teachers that are at the bottom of the stairs, and they're talking, and the guide is at the top of the stairs. I could see them talking. And then lo and behold, I saw the woman and the man ghosts that were there. And they were old farmers, I think from like the 1800s or something, because they were dressed like the way they were dressed. And in my mind, I was looking at them, and I was like, there you are. And both of them turned their heads and looked directly at me. And help my God, I was like, oh my God, they saw me. They heard me. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit, because I was like, oh my God, they heard me. This is freaking me out. And then I never ever told anybody until I was like way older. And then I'll tell you another freaky thing that happened was after my daughter was born, like within 24 hours, I was home. And I had to stay with my mother, because I lived alone. And if you were only in the hospital for like, 12 or 20, before 24 hours or 24 hours, you had to stay with somebody else. So I was staying with her for 3 days. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. It was like the very next day. And my brother had given me his bed to sleep in with the baby. And he slept on the couch. So I was in the kitchen, and, the light, when I had the light on, it was shining into the living room. And so I was just putting peanut butter on my toast. And in my peripheral on my right, I could see a figure in the doorway. And my brothers, they're all my brothers are very tall. And he's very, very skinny. And I could just see the figure there. And I was like, he was just standing in the doorway. And I said, like, I didn't even look at him. I was just still, just spreading all my peanut butter on my toast. And I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up. I'm just really hungry because I was breastfeeding. And I'm like, I'm just really hungry, and I just wanted to put something in my stomach before, I had feedings throughout the night. And he didn't answer me, and so I was kind of like, I just kind of like stopped what I was doing. I'm holding the toast in one hand, and I set the toast down. I was still holding the knife, and I looked over my shoulder to the right, and oh my God, it was a figure that took up the entire doorway. He wasn't just like skinny like my brother, and I could see directly through him. It was just a dark figure. And my first thought, like, it startled me. So of course I jumped, right? I had that like nervous reaction, and I just like startled. And I was still staring at him, and I'm like, oh my, and my first thought was, oh my God, they're here to take the baby. This is a soul. This is, like someone's coming to take the baby. The baby's going to die or something, right? And we're talking telepathy, right? We're talking like, I'm talking to his mind, and he's talking to me, and he's like, no, 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 I'm not here. No, 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 no. He's like, no, 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 I'm not here for that. And I'm like, then what do you want? Like, why are you here? And he said to me directly, you called me here. You called me. And I went, no, I didn't. And he says to me, he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I'm really new to this. And he just vanished. And I was thinking to myself, I called him? How could I call him? And then I realized when I was buttering my toast, putting that peanut butter on my toast, I was thinking about, well, back then, my daughter was born in 92. And back then it was a big thing that year that you would take the clipping from the newspaper, which, I mean, it's funny now, you probably don't even know what newspapers are, but then that's how you communicate. It was through newspapers, and you would cut out the clipping of the front page news and put that into the baby's book. But I didn't want to do that, because on the front page of the newspaper on the day she was born, it spoke about a gentleman that had been out on a bachelor party, and his friends took him out, and they had put like a real ball and chain on his leg, like a real, like, actual heavy ball with an actual chain, and they, you know, locked it onto his ankle, and he had to drag it around with him all night. And it was just a funny thing that they did. Well, anyway, they were drinking and driving, and I mean, that was kind of common back then. It wasn't like a lot of laws or anything about it. They were just starting to try to bring in laws through the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers thing then. Anyway, they ended up upside down. They went into I'm going to call it a lagoon, but it's not really a lagoon. But anyway, it was just part of the roundabout at the time. And it used to fill with water, and it was deep. I mean, it was like 8-10 feet deep or something in the center. And of course, they flipped over off the highway and boom, upside down into it. And the car filled with water. And of course, they were all drinking too. So the other people got out. And then by the time they got to the surface, they realized that their friend, the groom to be, didn't make it out. They tried to get him out, but it was too late. He had already drowned. So it was a terrible, tragic story. And I know it was him, because that's who I was thinking about. I was thinking about how like tragic it was for the family, because their wedding was just like a week away, and how tragic it was for the bride, and all that pain and heartache and all that. So I realized then that I could actually cut. So I was telling myself, like, I have to be very careful with my thoughts. I have to be very careful with, how I'm thinking, what I'm thinking, and all of that. And, I was just like, I was just trying to, like, I was fumbling through life. I didn't really know what was really going on most of the time. I mean, I was just kind of finding this stuff out as things went on. I mean, I just felt that I was a freak of nature, honestly. So, harmonic. Like, and I was talking about that heart chakra earlier, unfurling back to love. I was talking about how, like, this gives me this heart chakra thing here. I don't know if they're working on your heart. Look, and it's another dragonfly. Dragonflies might be very, okay, they want me to take this card. These dragonflies might be very, significant for you. Okay. I don't really know what the message is other than me rambling all that story off to you. Okay, so we're just going to put this up here, the astral. So something's going on with the astral. You're doing some kind of alchemy, though. See how this this green is really jumping out at me? Okay, so want one of these here. They want to give you some kind of freedom or help you connect. You know, I don't know if you can see in this card here, this astral card, it's somebody sitting in the lotus position and they're connecting to the universe above. I don't know if they're going to pull you into some kind of portal or... Hello, I just did all the shuffling and support from guardian angels. Okay. You know, this gives, I think this is like the fire and water here. The elements of fire and water. This might have something to do with the sunlight. If you hear a bunch of noise, it's my dog snoring and there's machines running outside, so... Okay, I don't know if they want these or what. Look at this. Rest, healer guides. See that star? Wow, number 33 is a master number. They want you to master something here about elevating. And then you have the true higher self. Wasn't there another card about the higher self? There was another card that came out about the higher self. Yeah, she was in a cocoon. She was in the butterfly cocoon. Whoa, what's going on, Spirit? Prayer, guardian angel. You know, they were showing me 99 too. Hold on, they want me to look that up here. I have a book here of angel numbers. Let's see, 99. Okay, see what they have to say. The spirit world has an urgent message for you. Get to work on your divine life purpose now. Ask the spirit world to help you with motivation, clarity, direction, and anything else you need. I'm going to split it again on guardian angel. Underneath is caution, guardian angel. Okay, so your heart here, you have your heart closed off, and I think it's because here they were saying with this hero card, because you've gone through so much disappointment and heartache, and I think you've been waiting for something to come, and it hasn't. Siren song. Yeah, like I said, you've been dealing with somebody that has you know, they flatter you, they entice you, they seduce you, and then they have a false face. And no, number 33 again. They want you to put that to rest. Okay. They want you to call in some healer. They're bringing in some kind of healer guides for your heart center here. You know, this is the North Star. Yeah, they're going to elevate you. Okay, they're going to elevate you here. Okay, so what else do you want here, Spirit? You know, you might resonate with like Greek mythology too, because that's what these cards are. These cards are mythology, yeah. You know, and I know that ancient Egypt and Greek mythology, they Perseus, sorry. Yeah, he's the one that cut off the head of, oh my God, because he used a mirror to cut off the head of Medusa. He used a mirror to show her reflection, to turn her to stone. And then he was able to come in and cut off her head. There's going to be victory, adventure, cunning, reward. You're very intelligent. Oh my God, look, it left this card, number 25. You know, and I was wondering what this 25 meant because they kept showing me number 25 with this freedom. And they have Cassandra here. Cassandra is a prophecy. Oh, they pulled that out, sorry. Prophecy, vision, disbelief. Yeah, because I was like, you're trying to prove something to somebody, and they said no, they want to validate. So this is going to validate something for you here. Okay, so it was this one. Orion. My God, you might even be from this star system. Star-crossed love. Hunter. You know, and then you have, oh, there's 2 cards here. Victory, action, excellence. They brought that out again, too. So you have prophecy with visions and disbelief. You're in some kind of disbelief here. But they're talking a lot about this mirroring. Okay, Spirit, what are you trying to tell me here? You mirror back the people that you're coming in contact with. This isn't to punish you, but what's happening is you were brought here to this, you reincarnated on this earth because what your energy is, the people that come to you are the ones that you had soul contracts with, and you're mirroring back their energy to them, and it's triggering them, but it triggers them into like some kind of healing or to elevate them in some way. And then, but unfortunately, you have to suffer the pain of that because then they turn on you. And I know it sounds really crazy, but they're showing me 6s now. So we have 15, I am present, and then the Orion, which is breaks down to a 6. Oh, they want me to look up 6. Okay. See what they're doing here. When you're burdened by worry, stress, or fear, it's more difficult to hear your angels' loving help. This is a message for you to spend time in prayer and meditation. Okay, because they were bringing up about the prayer, the guardian angel prayer here. Ask for spiritual intervention and open your arms to receive the help that that always follows prayers. Oh yeah, I'm just going to leave that book here because they're going to probably keep doing that. And you know, number 25, oh my God, Spirit, what is number 25 now? That also breaks down to a 7. Do you want the 7 or the 25? Okay. As you go through major life changes, expect the best of your optimism to be rewarded. Okay, so that's what's happening because you're helping these other souls, these contracts that you agreed to before you come here, because you're helping these souls, and I know it's causing pain for you and suffering and all this stuff is happening. You're actually a hero. You're considered a hero in the astral realm. Compassion, nurturing, alpha female energy, Hera, number 3, no joke. Okay, so and Lone, there's number 7, so they did say twice. Okay, so you want this here, this here, this here, this here, this here, this here. And end on this with Hermes, number 7, which is news, messenger communication. They want to communicate with you. They're whoever you are, you're highly sought off. And okay, so you could either be you're some type of empath though. So you could be an empath that is slowly awakening, or you can be some kind of empath that, because they were bringing up a lot about like ghosts and deceased ones and stuff like that, you could have that kind of energy. And maybe it's the deceased people that are bringing their loved ones to you, and then you're doing something to alchemize their energy, and you're freeing people, you're elevating people, and I don't think you realize that you are. They just want you to be open. Open to the light. Yeah, they're showing me a lot of these orbs here. So I think I'm correct. You're receiving guidance from these orbs or these energies. Yeah, and that's why, because this is all prophecy, because you're having visions, but you're in disbelief about them. And you see how she's looking over, like she's seeing something out of her on her right side in her peripheral, just like I was telling you that story, and the mirroring. Oh my God, look, it ends with halo here. Okay, you're some type of angel. Look, and I just split it on open again. Portal. Yeah, because there's that portal that I was talking about here. Look, does that say contract? Okay, there's some kind of open overflow. Yeah, you could be getting you're getting an overflow of energy coming at you, and I think that's what's really freaking you out when you go out in public. It's not anxiety. It's manifesting as anxiety, though. And we have contract there. Just like I said, okay. So they just want you to open, because we're right back to open again. Okay. Whoa. This is intense. Okay, they want me to look up number 7 here in this book. So all these numbers, you know, I see here and I have it lined up here. So 21 breaks down to a 3. Freedom is 12, which breaks down to a 3. You have 33 here, and then you have 3. So you could be seeing a lot of 3s and combinations. So 7 says you're on the right path, and the outcome will exceed your expectations. The number 7 is a sign that divine magic is supporting you in opening doors of opportunity. Okay, do you want me to look up 3? $33. I'm just going to read them first to see here which one they want. Okay, so the 3 here is the Ascendant Masters are helping you. Usually this means an Ascendant Master you feel close to. For example, Jesus, Kuan Yin, a saint, or some other spiritual religious figure. Okay? Because like they said in the beginning, there's no right or wrong way here. Okay, whatever it works for you. Okay, so then 33 is you have a strong and clear connection with one or more Ascendant Masters. You have answered your call and your prayer. Who have answered your call and your prayers. Keep talking to them as they're helping you with your present situation. And you know, they were bringing out like the Hermes here with number 7 about communication, news, messenger communication. They want you to open to this. So this is some kind of confirmation or validation. Sorry, Spirit. Validation. They keep bringing up validation. Okay, so what's 333 here? Okay. You are completely surrounded, protected, loved, and guided by benevolent Ascendant Masters. Wow. So you could actually be, your ancestry could actually be like Ascendant Masters. All right, so you want to bring up some tarot cards here? Okay, let's do that. And then the energy is really, really high. What's this here? Knight of Wands. It's having courage. It's fast energy. Taking some kind of inspired action. Okay, you could be like in disbelief right now, though. Taking in this reading here. Whoa, what's this? Yeah, the 3 of Swords, the pain. 6 of Wands. This is, again, this is like a victory. This is like some kind of reward. You're going to be rewarded. Like they brought this up again. You're going to receive some kind of reward because of the hardships that you've had in this lifetime. Two of Cups. Oh, they're going to bring in some kind of magical love or something, love connection for you. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to stop there. Look, the dreams, Page of Cups. You know, you've had some kind of dream. This could have been a dream that you had when you were a child. This is for all that suffering that you've gone through. What is this? The Six of Cups. You're doing a lot of thinking. Yeah, this is all this heartache that you've been thinking about. You're thinking about the past, like all these past relationships. I think that's why they want, with the freedom is so important here. And the harmonic flight. I think they really want you to let go of some of this pain. Heal. That's why they're bringing up this heart shock right here. Unfurling back to love. Yeah, they're good. You know, I just got the like they're gonna start peeling these layers away to expose. You could be going through a lot of emotional torment and upset right now, but just don't fight it, because that's your guides are you know, peeling away these layers to heal them, but they can only do it like a little bit at a time. That's why your awakening is so slow. It's a process. And that's why there's people like me doing these readings, because it's going to help you to understand like what's going on for you. This isn't an easy road. I know life has not been easy for you, because I know it certainly hasn't been easy for me either. So we're in the same boat, I'll tell you that. Same boat, funny spirit. Because they showed me that card with the boats. Okay. Yeah, you see this swan is by itself. And this dragon's looking at its mirrored reflection. See the reflection in this card? You know, your thoughts have a lot to do with what's happening into your world right now, because, you know, you got to remember the law of attraction, right? You know, what you're mirroring out into the world is what's going to mirror back to you, because that's what your soul is here to do. So you have to be very careful with what you're mirroring out into the world. I think that's really the true message here. See how she's like moving these curtains aside to finally see herself. That's why you have these healer gods. These ancestors are really healing you. They're doing it while you're sleeping, while you're in the astral, while you're sleeping. Yeah. They're trying to bring freedom. They're trying to free your soul, free your spirit into a higher. Yeah, because see with this alchemy here, they're you know, seeing they got the card. They had me move the card opening here. It's a slow process. They're slowly, like, you know how first you just peek through the curtains, and then slowly they're just peeling the curtains back. They're helping you to alchemize all this pain and suffering that you've gone through. Look, the Fool card. The Fool card is about taking that new step to, you know, to move on, to take that leap of faith. The harmonic flight. No, that's funny spirit. No joke. Okay, so let's bring out some clarifiers underneath here. So, yeah, they want to move you out of this nostalgia, this type of thinking, because it's all you're doing is mirroring back the pain. I mean, sit in the pain, you know, deal with it, cry it out, you know, then stand up, brush it off, and keep going. You know what I mean? The Eight of Pentacles, yeah. This is something that you'll have to work on to master. Okay, Spirit. Okay, so I'm going to take this one. This one. One more. Okay, and this one. Let's see here? It's on the bottom. The shaman. That's when you become the master. You master all the elements. That's like being the magician. That's like the magician too, right? Well, this is the magician in this deck. So I said you mastering. Oh my God, what's here? The high priestess. Oh my God, the high priestess. So there, see how like this, oh my God. See how he's peeking out of the, from the two pillars, just like she's peeking out from the curtain. The high priestess, this is going to be, well, this is truly who you are, but you're going to master this here. They're gonna keep working on helping you until you master it. The Four of Swords, well, that's rest again. They want you to rest when you're going through this kind of energy. They don't want you out running around. They want you to take that time, you know, curl up in a ball, cry it out a little bit, but just don't get stuck there and stay there, you know. There's going to be some kind of reward coming in. Look at this Nine of Pentacles. Wow. This is where you're going to be mature and independent and be able to be your true self and have the fruits and labors of all of that. Because the Nine of Pentacles is all about receiving like spiritual and material satisfaction, achievements, and inner peace. You're going to be rewarded for sure. You're going to have a victory. You have a dragon that is accompanying you, because I think that's you holding on to this staff here, and your dragon is carrying you and, well, the Ascendant Masters too. What's this here? The sun, no joke, all that light. Oh my God, Spirit, this is beautiful. See all this light? When you pray, see these angels here? These masters, when you pray, this is what's happening. They are lighting you up. They're guiding you. They're elevating your, and you know, these are almost the same colors. Oh my God, I think they are the same colors that's in here. So you have this bright light, you have this heart, you have this throat, you have this, you know what I mean? It's expanding everything. Okay, so what's this one? Number 47. Which breaks down to an 11, which is a master number. That's why they're bringing out so many of the master numbers, because you're going to master all of this. You just got to keep going through all these little the awakening process. 47, Holy Spirit. What is this? Okay, this is the last message they have for you. The false enchantment. Oh my God. And didn't they bring out, where's that card? Where was that card? Oh, maybe I put it back in. It was about you going through the pain and all the false. There we go. The siren song, number 33 again, right? And how they're talking about, like, you know, these people, you know, they entice you, they seduce you, and then, you know, they flatter you, and then you fall for it, and then you get emotionally invested into them, and then their mask, you see their false face comes off. But see how I put it right out on alchemy? You know, and that was the first card that came out. You know, they always have me put the cards in certain ways. I don't know, and my hand's just drawn to do it. And I don't know, I don't have any, like, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's just see what this says here. False enchantment. In our modern world, there is an abundance of artificial light, both actual and symbolic. The false light promises so much and delivers so little. Oh my God, no joke. Look what it says. The false light is a siren song. Oh my God, Spirit. A promise of whatever it is you feel you cannot have unless you compromise your integrity to get it. There is only one lesson to be learned through the false enchantment. No matter what circumstances surround it, whatever is obtained is not worth the price you paid for it. No matter how much you believed it would be otherwise, it simply will not be worthwhile. Do not start on the slippery slope of bargaining away your self-esteem. Say no to the mind becoming confused and needy about something that is supposedly too good to miss. The sanctity of your inner being is priceless. Guard it carefully. I'm going to read, they want me to reread that again. Guard it carefully, my God, Spirit. Okay. The false enchantment. In our modern world, there is an abundance of artificial light, both actual and symbolic. The false light promises so much and delivers so little. The false light is a siren song, a promise of whatever it is you feel you cannot have unless you compromise your integrity to get it. There is only one lesson to be learned through false enchantment. No matter what circumstances surround it, whatever is obtained is not worth the price you paid for it. No matter how much you believed it would, I have all this energy running through me and it's like my insides are like vibrating. No matter how much you believed it would be otherwise, it simply will not be worthwhile. Do not start on the slippery slope of bargaining away your self-esteem. And that's what all this heartache and pain, because this false face here that's going on, right? So this nostalgic energy, it's trying to draw you down and pull you down and pull down your energy to put you in this low vibration, because you're a very high level, like Hermes is the one that has the wings, right? You're a very high level being that can pull the vibration of the earth up. So you being in a high vibrational, you can elevate the entire world. I mean, you have elevate here and everything, and the freedom, and oh my God, the freedom, and wow, you're amazing. I want to thank you. Okay, so don't allow to bargain away your self-esteem. Yeah, because that's what the that nostalgia does. So say no to the mind becoming confused and needy about something that is supposedly too good to miss. The sanctity of your inner being is priceless. Guard it carefully. Because you know, like these nostalgic, they only let you remember the good things. They don't show up as like all the crappy things that this person's done to you or situations they've put you in. I can't believe this card, that we pulled this card out in the very beginning, didn't we? And then it came out with the siren song, and that's actually talks about the siren song. Well, number 47. Wow. Okay, that's all I have. I need to take a break from this. This has been absolutely amazing. This has been amazing. Yeah, it's an overflow, this portal and the spiritual. Oh my God, you're amazing. I want to thank you for being here and really, try to get rid of these energies and just let this old pain go, because like I said, they're trying to keep you down, right? This lightning here tells me that this is coming from the astral realm. This is coming from your ascended masters that are trying to clear this pain away from you, dealing with this heart, like I was talking about here with this heart. Oh my God. Okay, I'm blown away. I gotta go. So I'm going to send you all my love and light, and I'm going to bid you a good day, and I hope this video finds you well. Bye, everyone.